1.22 WAR or 1.221 OPS. By the way, he had more homers in the regular than the postseason in the regular season. Crazy. And last but not least, the World Series champions have acquired another All-Star. They say the rich get richer, and that's certainly what the Dodgers are doing. This time it's former Brewers right-handed pitcher Corey Knebel. According to Alden Gonzalez of the ESPN, the Dodgers will send a player or cast consideration down the road. Knebel was a great in 2017, but since then he has struggled. The former Brewer had Tommy John surgery and tore his ulnar collateral ligament in 2019. He tried to work his way back in 2020, but couldn't find his 2017 form. In 2020, he had a abysmal 6.08 ERA and pitched 15 games. Well, this year, 2020, the NFL continues to be very strange. For just a second time since 2012, the NFL hosted a Wednesday football game. You have to go back to the Cowboys and the Giants played back in 2012 to start the season off. The Steelers versus Ravens was originally scheduled for Thanksgiving night, but then moved to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and finally Wednesday because of multiple tests for Baltimore testing positive for COVID-19. Some even thought the game would be played on Thursday night. The Pittsburgh Steelers took on their bitter rival, the 6-4 Ravens, who are without quarterback Lamar Jackson, tight end Mark Andrews, running backs Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins, defensive end Calais Campbell, and much more. The game wasn't pretty, but somehow Pittsburgh squeaked out another victory. The Steelers held on to beat the Ravens 19-14. Many like myself believe the Steelers could be the worst 11-0 team in the NFL history. Give credit to Baltimore. They hung on and almost beat the unstoppable Pittsburgh Steelers with their B team. Big Ben threw for 266 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Now I did realize that the Steelers did drop a lot of passes, but I mean you can't almost lose to a B team. I mean that's just not good. It's not a good look. It's just not good. It doesn't prove to your point that you're the best team in football, which I still think the Chiefs are. Eric Ebron, despite some drops, had 54 yards receiving. Trace McSorley came in the fourth quarter to replace an injured RG3 and threw 77 yards and a touchdown pass to Marquise Hollywood Brown to trim the game to 5. RG3 led the team in rushing with 68 yards. Marquise Brown had one of his best games this season with 85 yards and a touchdown. However, the big story of the day was that it was late in the first half. The Ravens were driving it inside the Steelers' 1-yard line and couldn't get it in as RG3 pass to Luke Wilson was incomplete to end the first half, keeping the Steelers' lead 12-7. But a controversial play was that Pittsburgh not being flagged for a delay of game after holding the Ravens ball carrier from getting up and using the clock. Baltimore did not have any timeouts, so they couldn't get up. They couldn't get up, and the clock continued to run. My first question is, can Pittsburgh go 16-0? And my answer to that is absolutely no. They got a Buffalo in 2 weeks, and with the way they played against Baltimore, I can't see them going 16-0. I could see them losing 2 or 3 games. Because when you almost lose to a B team, it's not a good look. It also doesn't prove to your point that you're this best team. I've heard a lot of Steelers fans that have said, you know what, we're the best team in football. Well, I don't think you are. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are, and I think the Chiefs and Steelers play today, the Chiefs would beat them pretty good. I mean, the Steelers have been impressive in some games. They beat Tennessee. I understand that. They beat a few good teams, but I mean, the Ravens had pretty much their backup squad in there, and they came into Pittsburgh. Again, I know there's no fans, but they came into Pittsburgh and almost beat them. Yes, I know Pittsburgh turned the ball over a lot, and they did drop a lot of passes, but that just proves to my point. You can't look, you have to look sharp against any team. I don't care if it's the Jacksonville Jaguars or the 0-16 Cleveland Browns from a few years ago. You can't be unprepared playing any team in the National Football League. It's not college here where you can still win 40-0 without even game planning. You need to be able to play better, even if it's against the Ravens backup team. So I think they lose 2 or 3 games. I think they will end up losing to Buffalo in a few weeks on Sunday Night Football. Can the Ravens even make the playoffs right now? Well, right now they're still on the hunt. They need to win all their next games, which are very favorable, except for Cleveland, and they beat them pretty good back in week 1, which is a different time than that. People were saying the Ravens could go 16-0. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Lamar Jackson should be ready for the Cowboys game, so I'd expect them to at least win most of their games, if not all. I can see this making the playoffs because they beat both the Browns and Colts, who right now are the 5th and 6th seed. So right now, if they just win all their 5 games and the Colts and Browns lose 1 or 2 more games, they would all of a sudden have the 5 or 6 seed. I don't think they're going to win the AFC North. I think the Steelers will end up winning that division because they have performed very well. But again, I mean, of course, the Steelers didn't perform well yesterday, but the Steelers already have too much wins, and all they need is 1 or 2 more wins to clinch the AFC North. Who's the better football team, the Ravens or Chiefs? Or not? Who's the better team in the AFC right now, Steelers or Chiefs? Well, I've already kind of answered that, but I think the Chiefs are a lot better, and I'm not sure how they don't play this year. I mean, that would be the game of the week, but I just don't know how people are saying the Steelers are the best team. I looked at Pete Prisco from CBS Sports Network, and he had his power rankings out, and he put the Steelers at number one. I'm like, how can you put them at number one when they haven't proved to themselves, that prove to people that they are the best team right now? The Chiefs are way better. The Chiefs looked good against the Buccaneers. I know the Buccaneers have some other problems, but the Steelers on primetime television, yes, I understand how a lot of people watched because a lot of people were working, but I mean, they almost lost to the Ravens B team. I just don't understand why they're not number one. So I think the Chiefs are the better football team. They proved that. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey, they could be the best duo or not best duo. They could be the best. I can't think of the word now, but they could be the best combination in all football or that we've seen in a very long time.